This should be the last video of the program. I want to switch over to practice test here. We're keeping it on the screen and we're playing the sound so we can cross those out. And then we want some states. We want paused, playing, and game over. And start button's what's going to changes from one state to another. So let's make a procedure out of this. Update. Okay. Actually, let's try a Boolean here. Okay. And it doesn't matter which one I use. Those are basically the same, two names for the same thing. And we're going to call this start pressed. And start pressed equals pad1 dot buttons dot start it's pressed on this one and was released on the previous one. Okay, so that'll simplify my code a little bit. And now if starts pressed and game state, oh, I didn't do game state, did I? Let's go back up and declare game state. And this will be pretty much like it usually is. It's enumerated. And what we want is we want paused, playing, and we want game over. And then we want a variable of that type. So the type is and at the beginning of the game we want to start off in the game state, wrong one again, game state equals dot paused. Let's start over. Okay, so we start off in the pause state. Then we update the state. So if the start button is pressed and game state is game state dot paused, then I want to go to game state equals game state dot playing. Okay, so if start is pressed and game state equals playing, and whoops, I don't want a semicolon on the end of that. Game state, wrong one. Okay, we're also supposed to write the game state on the screen all the time, so I do need a string variable and a font variable for that. So let's go back up here and sprite font, and the other one I need is a string, and we're going to call this game state string. Okay. And initialize here my game state. I do it all the time. Game state string is going to be paused. Okay. And okay, and when I change states here, I will change the string as well. Actually, I think there's a way you don't even have to do that, but we haven't talked about that yet. So game state string equals playing. And down here, the game state string is game, not yet, yeah, game over. Okay, and then we need to draw that on the screen, so let's go down here, and after we draw Elvis, let's draw string, and it's going to be the game state string, and we're just going to do vector2 dot 0, which will put you in the upper left hand corner, and then okay, now I don't have the font declared, so let's go over here and add a new item. And I'll just call that font. And then I need a font variable over here somewhere. So there's my font variable, and then I have to load the font as well. Okay, so what am I doing wrong there? Font, it's not a texture, it is a sprite font. Gotta pay attention. And it's defined more than once. Okay, there's font. So where is it defined more than once? There it is. Okay. Okay, now let's give it a try. Okay, I'm going to push the start button now, and it is not taking me from one state to the next. So let's stop back here, and let's see if we can figure out, first of all, down here, we only want to do this stuff, this if statement, if game state oh, you see what I did? This is never going to be true. This should be previous pad 1. Let me make sure I've got that declared up above. I think obviously I do, or it wouldn't let me get that without a red wavy underline underneath. So previous pad 1, and if I don't save pad 1, okay, now let's see what happens when I push my buttons. Okay, push and start. Now I'm in the playing and Elvis appears. Now I'm going to push start again and I'm in the game over state. And I think it also said something in the instructions about being able to press the back button anytime, which actually I took out. We'll put it back in. Pad 1 dot back buttons dot back so if they have pressed the back button, then what I want to do is I want to this dot exit, which is another way of quitting the game. Okay. Run it one more time. And before I do anything here, I'm going to press the back button and it should stop the program. Okay? Let's run it again. This time I'll go from paused to playing and then I'll hit the back button. So it should come up in paused, hit the playing button, now start button, now I'm playing, and now I'm going to hit the back button and it should take me out. And then there's one more case, and that is where you get to game over, and in the game over state doesn't display anything. Okay, and let's just do a quick check here, make sure I didn't forget something. Okay, press the start button for a second time, go to game over. Regardless of the game state, should be able to press the back button to stop the program. Display programs game state containing upper left, upper right corner of the screen. Okay, that's not good. Okay, if we're going to need this on the right upper right corner of the screen, we're going to have our own vector for drawing that. So draw string. Okay, so this is going to be like a game state vector. So let's do a control home. Let's go down here and then before we can draw the string, we need to figure out where to put it. So game state vector dot x equals font dot measure string, and the string I want to measure is my game state string, and game state vector, we're just going to put it on the top. And I forgot, this has two coordinates, width and height, and which is basically an x and a y, so I want the x value here. And now I'm thinking it's going to work. Okay, and it's not working. It is way over there on the left. Okay, so what did we do wrong? That's how far, I found how wide it is, but I also need to back it up that far from the right edge. So if we go from the right edge of the screen area, our red background, then we're game state vector dot x is going to be equal to screen right minus the current value of font dot measure string dot, well actually I've already got it in game state vector x. Okay, and now I think it'll be over on the right edge of the red, not the right edge of the cornflower blue. Okay, so let's do start. Now we're playing. Let's do start again, and now we're in the game over state. And that covers everything on the practice test.